Hi everybody, my name is Jerry and this is the third weekly chat on Photo Africa. Bit of feedback from last week. The metering blog that you were waiting for, that's up and running. That was posted on Wednesday. I have had a couple of questions on that already, so leave me more comments, leave me more questions. I am going to do a follow-up on that as well. You can find that at Photo Africa. If this is your first time, just in case, welcome. The idea with these chats, weekly chats, is I want to try and catch up on photography, wildlife, and bring them together. It's a lot of what I do. So hopefully there's some inspiration, some tips, tricks, ideas, answer some questions as we go. I'm also going to look at reviews, some book reviews, product reviews. These are all things that I enjoy. It's not, nobody gave it to me and said, please have a look at this. These are the things that I think will add value to you and your photography. I'm sitting right now in the Madikwe Game Reserve at a lodge called Royal Madikwe. We just finished a hospitality shoot here for the last 2 days now. Shot some rooms, exteriors, sunrise, sunsets, and so on. And that got me thinking on how to pull this through into wildlife photography. For me, if you look around on the Facebooks, the Twitters, and all the photographers' pages out there, go and look at the images and you can either divide them into images that are based on content or images that are based on the technical quality of it. Content would be, if you've been following Photo Africa for a while, you would have remembered there was a muddy lion shot where this lion was covered in black mud. That's content. Technically, it wasn't the best photo. Yes, my photo wasn't the best. There was a bit of noise in, light was bad, and so on, but it's all based on content. Andrew and Drini, who work here, they showed me a picture last night as well of a python that just caught I think it's a pigeon or a dove. Also, I mean, content is mind-blowing, but then technically, it doesn't stand up as well. I'm not saying it's a bad shot. It is a phenomenal shot. So now, how I got onto this is with the lodge shoots that we do, or the hospitality shoots, it's very easy for me to control both the content and the technical quality. I can make sure of my content. We move things, we change things. Adele's running up and down. We're moving the vase this way, that way. So I've got content under control because it's a controlled environment. Technically, I know my equipment and I know what I want from the shot. So I can work my exposure, my depth of field to bring the most out of that final image. Steps in wildlife photography. Technical quality, yes, you can control. It does have to do with you and your camera. You need to understand your camera. You need to know what each of those functions do. You need to understand aperture and how it affects the image. So it is you who controls the technical quality. It is not a Nikon Canon thing. Do it again. It's not a Nikon and Canon thing. Both of the brands, and other ones as well, Sony, Olympus, they all shoot great quality. Is what you do with it. Right. So the technical side of wildlife photography, yes, you can control. Content. Difficult one. You never know what the lion's going to do. You never know when the bird's going to take off, when the elephant's going to spray the water, or if you're in the States, when the deer's going to run, whatever the case might be. Content is a difficult one. The more you are out there, the better your content will become because you're going to see more things. You get these magical moments where things happen, and that's when you need to be ready. The ideal, of course, and this is for me, for you, for everybody else, is you want to get to that magic place where content and technical meets up. It's when magic happens. I mean, it's a song reaching that pinnacle, that moment where you think, that's it. That's what we're looking for. So technically, yes, you've got that covered. Content-wise, you need to be ready when things happen, right? And that's where the prediction of animal behavior also helps a lot. If you know when the lion's going to yawn, there's little signs you can look for. That's when you can be ready to create content which is of a technical, brilliant quality. That's what we're after. Too often, though, I find that people spend so much time worrying about the technical side of things that the content starts dwindling a bit. A leopard up a tree, great shot, technically beautiful, enough already. There's more out there. You can have the most simple subject, an impala, a zebra grazing in a field. If the light is good and you pull the technical quality out of it, it's a good solid shot. But too often we don't even try and take the shot because we're not sure of the content. You need to be out there, you need to find that content and take your time. Patience. It is wildlife photography. There's a lot of patience involved, but also luck. It's when all of those things meet, when your patience gets rewarded, when the luck is on your side that day, when the content is there, and then you're, of course, ready with your technical side of things. That's when the magic happens. And unfortunately, for most of us, I don't think it happens enough. I know for me, I would love it to happen more, but if you go out there and you look for the shots, you can get these things. Don't get stuck on the big subjects though. Look for different things. Dion de Villiers, a good friend who works at Jackie's Lodges, had a shot last year of a dung beetle on his ball, low angle. He took it from. Brilliant. Normally you wouldn't even look at those things. That is content that he went looking for, and ultimately the technical quality was there because he knows his equipment. So what are we after? You need the content. Get out there. It's the only way to get it. And the technical quality. Learn to use your equipment. You need to be able to, on the fly, without having to drop the camera and look for buttons, change your aperture, your shutter speed, your ISO. All of these things you need to be able to change. There's great websites out there. Give me a shout. Ask us the questions and we'll try and get you through these things as well. Now, from a being prepared and a content point of view, one of the ways that you can put yourself in the right position is to speak to other wildlife photographers. Find out where they went. Look for lodges who have a good photographic reputation. Guides that know what they're doing. That brings me to a book I wanted to have a look at last week. Shem Compion's Insider's Guide, Top Wildlife Photography Spots in South Africa. Brilliant idea and very, very well executed. Phenomenal. What you have here is Shem's traveled extensively over Southern Africa and he's looked at different reserves and places to go for you to get the best shot. Broken down into provinces, and then you've got highlights of whether it's landscapes, birds, animals, big five. You've got background on each area, photographic equipment that you could use, ideas of lenses that'll help you, the highlights of the area. Shem gives ratings then for each of these areas with regards to the abundance, the viewing, and the photographic potential. Obviously then also filled with some amazing photographs from all of these different areas. Definitely want to check out Insider's Guide, Top Wildlife Photography Spots in South Africa by Shem Compion. Again, I'll have the links just below the video on the site if you need this. Definitely want to have a look through. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that you can really use. Being prepared. This is one of the tools you can use to be prepared to make sure you get that content. Content. We can't predict these things, but if you're out there, you can make it happen. Technical quality, easy one to control. Can also do it like that. That also then comes back to me now. I've got a big thing about obviously sharing my work, sharing your work, and sharing ideas and inspiration that I get from photography and then from other people as well. I don't think cancel that. I think we are too harsh on ourselves, me, you, most of us, to put images out there that we believe are not good enough. Right, think of this, that, I try and post quite often, and yes, I know people enjoy the work, but more than that, it keeps me going, it keeps me ticking over. If I just had to post once every month, I don't think I would push myself or challenge myself enough to grow as a photographer. Obviously, looking at other people's work, important. Don't copy, don't do the exact same thing. Try and look for and create your own work. Coming back, I think it is important for us as photographers to put your work out there. People need to see your work. More importantly is you need to get and trust your own ability enough to put work out there. The reality is this. Every shot you take is not going to be great. All the wildlife photographers out there, from Shem, your Greg de Toys, you can name them. These people also have missed shots. They just don't put them out there. However, we all have a massive database of images, wildlife, landscapes, close-ups, macros, whatever it is, from nature that it falls in that middle category. It's not these mind-blowing shots where everybody's going to say, that's fantastic, wow, I like this, forward, whatever the case is. It falls in that middle category where you're not sure you want to put it out because maybe people aren't going to comment on it. That's exactly where you need to stop yourself and say, right, I'm not doing this for people to comment on my work, or I want people to like my images. I'm putting out there, I'm sharing a piece of me. That is a shot I took. I think it's pretty good. It might not be great, but it's still a solid shot. I feel very strongly that that sharing aspect of it, whether it's on your own blog, on Facebook, on Flickr, any of the multiple photo sharing websites, you need to put your work out there. Show us what you're doing. You can also on the Photo Africa Facebook page. There's a couple of people, Ash and Sylvie, posting some great work on there. Keep it coming. It's a nice way for you to share your work and show people what you are doing. It's not always the magic moments, but it's good, solid, beautiful wildlife moments. And the more you do that, the closer I believe you're going to come to getting the good content meets technical. The more photos you take, technically you get understand better how your equipment works and the basic principles of what you're doing. The more images you take means for me you're going to spend more time out there, which means you're probably going to get better content. Not lions sleeping, lions doing things. The late afternoon where the elephants are active, whatever it is. You need to be out there to get the content. Right. I think we're going to wrap it up for now. This week I'm off from here. We are at Royal now. We're going to head off to another lodge in the far eastern side of Madikwe, do some work there as well. Next week I'm back in Johannesburg, so I'll see you from Joburg next week, or preparing for workshops and things like that. If you are in Joburg in the week, give me a shout, link up, let's have a coffee. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going to ask Adele, who's my camera person, thank you, to do a quick spin around just so you get an idea of where we are. Very close one. Last one before I go. You'll notice that at the end of every video, I've got a couple of images. Those are images for me that I've had in the last week that I think is great, and they just slide by. The last image you will see on this video is the scene behind me here. It's the bathtub outside on the deck, open African skies, that we shot last night as well. So, with that, have a good weekend, look for content, think of the technical, buy Shem's book. I will see you all next week. Have a good one.